First of all, I would like to congratulate VFL Justin Gatlin on his silver medal. I also wish good luck to Christian Coleman. And you know what a job Beth Sullivan and the entire coaching staff has done with our track program. And again, that's just the progress that they've made, and it's been exciting to kind of sit back and watch. I'd also would like to let the citizens of Baton Rouge know that they're also in our thoughts and our prayers and all the things that they're going through right now. On another thing, first rain that we've had for Media Day, we had cameras set up, so we watched you guys run off the field. So we're going to review your athletic ability here shortly. I have a video I'm putting together right now, a media bloopers video. So from the punter spraying you with footballs on the sideline and how fast you run, the hub sprinting off the field, it's quite the comedy. So we'll have that moving forward. But on a serious note, where we're at in terms of after the scrimmage, and it's a great indication for us as a coaching staff of where we are right now. The things what we need to do to continue to grow and improve as a football team and improve for every player in our football program. If you look at preseason football games around the National Football League, you see a lot of turnovers, you see a lot of special teams errors, big plays, and you know, the thing that's you know, keeps you up at night being a college football coach is, again, we have no preseason games. So every scrimmage is critical, and the scrimmage is like a preseason game. And great teaching points and moving forward from yesterday, or from Saturday rather. We always talk about what it takes to play winning football. We do have some players right now that I think are playing winning football, but we need a lot more. We still have a lot of positions that are up for playing time. And again, we talked about when they left Neyland Stadium, every player had a football reputation and a football identity, and you're responsible for putting your identity and your reputation on video every single day. I do think this football team is work in progress, but I tell you what, I thought this morning we had one of the better practices that we've had all training camp. I thought our players were locked in, very focused, very detail oriented, you know, really paying attention to situational football and owning those situations and moving forward. So I like the mentality of our football team. Tonight, we have to finish the day out strong. And again, everything is about a sense of urgency with our football team. As we all know, we start classes on Wednesday. So training camp is coming to a closure here. And then we're in a regular in-season schedule. So we have to make the most out of the next couple days. So I'll answer any questions that you all may have.
Butch, obviously it was no secret that the length of this training camp wasn't as long as y'all were used to having. You know, is the way that you've mapped it out, have y'all gotten about the most you could out of it to this point, or are you at least happy with what y'all have gotten out of it?
Yeah, you're always looking for more, but I've liked their attitude, and you know, it's like I told our players today, every time you walk out on the football field, you're competing against three things. Number one, you're competing against yourself. Every single day, the great competitors, that internal drive, you're competing against yourself. And then you're competing against your position group or your unit. You're competing with others. And then the third thing is you're competing against your opponent each and every day. And you have three competitive battles every single day, but the most competitive battle that you have is the battle internally, the battle with yourself. And we spoke about that, but it's also, we really looked into mental fatigue, and I think there's a fine line in today's world of, you know, being mentally tough, being physically tough, understanding recovery, but we really tried to watch the physical recovery, the mental recovery, and also just you know, their mindset and where they're at in the fatigue as well. And I think it's been a productive camp. But when we talk about, you know, with our schedule having to start fast and finish strong, these next couple days are very big. It's like I told our football team, you know, you get into this point of training camp when you're in practice 13, practice 14. This is kind of really, you really find out about yourself and your true leaders. Who's going to cross over that line and really become great, really become a really good football player, because these are the defining moments of drawing the line in the sand right now when you get to this type of training camp. And that's why you'll see individuals really step up and assert themselves on this football team, and you'll see others fall behind. And it's just that mental toughness, it's that mental conditioning that we spoke about. But we're kind of where we are. There are some positions that we have to get settled, and we have to get some, some people working continuity in those position groups. So that's why the sense of urgency, we need more people in our football program playing winning football. But I've liked their attitude, I've liked their mindset. We're kind of, we're kind of where we're at. That's kind of where I thought we would be at this particular stage of the game.
Paul, Steve, and Rob.
What you mentioned, you worry about NFL preseason games, too many turnovers or too many big plays. Did you feel like you had too many of one or the other on Saturday in the scrimmage?
Well, it's a double-edged sword. We did a great job offensively of taking care of the football. We did not turn the football over. We did give up a safety, but we did not turn the football over. But on the other side of it, we need to take the football away on defense, and that's been one of the, the criteria of playing defense here at Tennessee is doing a better job of taking the football away. And we didn't have enough turnovers generated defensively. It was a typical scrimmage. Some good, some bad, tremendous teaching points in terms of situational football. And again, doing your job. Every individual is 1 out of 11. And if one individual doesn't execute their assignment, that lends itself for a big play. We gave up some big plays on defense, and it was in defensive football, everything starts on your alignments, setting the front the right way. And we had some youngsters not set the front the right way, and obviously your gaps are exposed, and there comes a big play. Same thing offensively, whether it's 4 guys protecting great and the 5th not protecting, or the way we climb up to the 2nd level on a linebacker, a run play should be out the gate. All those things, it was great to go back and watch and really point out to our team that really the difference between winning and losing in the small details are the details that always add up to the big details.
Steve, Rob, and I forgot Butch Jones.
Regarding the offensive line and 2 tackle spots at the center, you've said those positions were up for competition. I was just checking, has anybody started to separate themselves there? And at what point do you need to kind of have that starting 5 in mind?
I've never believed in setting timetables because those positions will be set when they take those positions over. So you never paint yourself in a corner and say, we have to have a starting this number by this time. I believe that'll take care of itself. The offensive line as a group has been working exceptionally hard, and they're being challenged every day. Like I told you, they're seeing things from bare front to 2 down to different packages, radar packages. They're seeing it all, stuff that they've never seen before. So that's really accelerating the learning curve. So you have to take that into consideration, but I think that for the most part, all those guys are doing a great job, and they're competing. And it's like I said earlier during the week, don't compare, just compete. They're doing that. I see the individuals taking great strides each and every day, so there is no timetable. And as we know, in the offensive line, you don't have a starting 5. We need a starting 6, 7, 8. In this conference, with the level of physicality, that's the way I look at it, is we need a starting 7 or 8. We just don't need a starting 5.
Robin and Bryce and Danny.
Coach, just one of the takeaways from camp at this point seems to be that your defensive line is coming along nicely. How do you judge, the offensive line against them? And maybe you just have a lot of great players on defense. I guess, is there a sliding scale there? Are you concerned that you worry more about the offensive line than you maybe should, just because of what they're facing?
That's a great question, and you have to kind of rely on the knowns of what these individuals have proven over time. And it is, do we need to improve here or there, or are we just that superior there? And it's not just in the offensive and defensive lines, but it's across the board. But, the offensive line have had their ways too now in certain practices. It's been give and take back and forth, and to me, that's good to see because it's been extremely competitive. And that's what we want, is we want all of our situations to be competitive in practice. That's how you continue to grow and get better. So, our defensive front is doing some good things. I think, We have some individuals really stepping up, but we have some individuals stepping up in the offensive line as well. So I think it's been a healthy battle throughout the course of training camp. And as we know, starting with App State, we're going to be challenged up front. Each and every week, it's a line of scrimmage league. It's a line of scrimmage game no matter who the opponent is.
John Bryce, Danny, Hubbs, and Patrick.
Which along the lines of the offensive line, are you afforded a little bit more time in settling on 5 or 6 or 7 guys because of some of the experience you not only have up front, but also because of the experience you have with Dobbs and with some of your skilled players? And then specifically, how have you seen Jack Jones develop, and how much more physical is he maybe this year than a year ago?
Well, I see, when you talk about the physicality with Jack, he's playing with a lot more confidence. And when you play with confidence, your physicality is going to go up, your decision-making is going to go up. You're just more assertive in everything that you do. I see that with all of our young offensive linemen that played some last year or redshirted. So I see the progress with them each and every day. You are right, John, in terms of we have players who played multiple positions in the offensive front. So we're afforded that luxury of being able to move individuals around. And, we benefited from that the last 2 years. It's helped us win football games. When Jayshon Robertson can take reps at left guard, right guard, center, and possibly even tackle. Coleman Thomas being able to play center, guard, tackle. It's a long football season, so when you have that luxury, that really helps us, and that's what training camp is for as well. The other individual, I think our freshmen are doing a really, really good job. I think our older players are really mentoring them. I've been very, very pleased with the freshman offensive linemen. They're getting valuable repetitions, and I see them getting better and better as well. So it's been a healthy camp in terms of that, of the competition. And like I said before, sometimes now we can go 3 groups where we've never been able to do that before.
We're going to finish up with Danny, Hubbs, Patrick, Ryan, and Austin, and then Shane.
Is Rashawn Dalton better for this team as a safety or a nickelback? Or is the competition between him and Malik Foreman? And how hard is it going to be to keep Nigel Warrior off the field? Because it sounds like we're talking to you guys Friday. He seems really showing up big time.
First of all, it's been great to have Rashawn back. Rashawn right now is competing at the nickel spot with Malik Foreman, and we'll continue to have some competition at that nickel spot as well. And Rashawn is also playing safety for us, but it's great to have him back. Nigel Warrior, along with all of our freshmen, are doing great things. Nigel's a young man who just continues to get better and better each and every day. He has great football instincts. He's added to the competitive component back in the back end of our secondary, and we're going to need him on special teams as well. So again, he fits into the category of the entire freshman class. They're doing a great job, but we thought Nigel was one of those individuals who kind of stood out Saturday.
But you mentioned a couple times the different looks and different things that this defense is throwing at the offense. How pleased are you with how complex your defense is being right now? And is it where you thought it would be from the different elements that you're getting ready, you're showing on the scrimmage field and on the practice field?
We definitely want to have, complex defense. We want to be able to have a great inventory of coverages and blitz schemes and all that. But make no mistake about it, it still comes down to execution. And like Coach Shute says, culture before scheme. And with all the things, being a great tackling defense, taking the football away, all those non-negotiables that really are the makings of great defenses. And then schemes come in last in that. But, our players, we have a lot of players that have played a lot of football. I think, with our defensive system, it allows to change packages up. I think we have some depth now at certain positions where we can do some different packages. But at the end of the day, winning football defensively comes down to doing the little things exceptionally well, tackling, taking the ball away, having no MAs or no missed assignments, having great eye discipline, swarming to the football, all the things that everyone talks about. Really, that's the basis of playing great defense, great communication. But when you can have some complexity or whatever, however you want to term it, if you want to be able to do different things, your players got to have great knowledge of your base system, and they have that, and I think the way our coaches have been teaching it, it's been also easy for our players to pick up. You always gauge how your system's set up, how quickly it takes true freshmen to learn your systems. And to me, that's always the greatest gauge, from your teaching to the way you call things to your starting points with your schemes. How hard is it for a newcomer to come in and learn these schemes? And I always gauge it off of that.
Go ahead, Austin Patrick Ryan.
Butch, with so many red jerseys, green jerseys, and you got such healthy competition along the offensive line, is it hard from a coaching standpoint to get a good look at times just because plays are being called in, scrimmages, that kind of thing, when guys get close to those marquee guys?
Yeah, that's why we went more live than we have on Saturday, but it is. But also, it's practice etiquette. Everyone has to practice this way. And, the mature teams, the teams that are great teams, they understand practice etiquette. And we want to challenge each other, but we also have to be smart, and we have to get some guys to the game on Saturday. And to me, what it really does is it challenges your overall discipline. But you could be a better tackling team without tackling. And that's one of the things, when Coach Shute came in here, he said, I'm one of those coaches that, I don't agree that to be a better tackling team, you have to tackle. Yes, you have to tackle, but it's your practice etiquette. It's understanding how to thud and drive for 5 in a proper way. It's understanding the proper angles and leveraging the football and how you tag off and all those things. And we've really, really demanded from our players the proper angles, the proper tackling etiquette. We practice tackling every single day in practice. But again, it's being smart and them understanding the 3 tempos that we have, whether it's tag, whether it's thud, whether it's tackle. And our players, this is the best practice etiquette team to date that we've had.
Butch, is there anything new with Alexis' status?
Nothing's changed. I have met with Alexis. I have met with his family. I thought we had great dialogue. We'll continue to have those conversations, but as of right now, in terms of his status with the football team, nothing's changed.
Do you know if there is could it be soon that there's a decision made on his possible reinstatement?
No timetable's been set. Again, we'll continue to have dialogue and go from there.
Ryan and then Shane.
Just a few guys I wanted to get updates on that. Evan Berry and Brandon Johnson, their statuses, and has Latrell Williams been able to get back out yet and do much so far?
We expect all those individuals to be back practicing at the end of the week. Some have missed more time than others, but there's nothing serious. So we expect all of them to be back on the field by later this week.
With the shorter practice schedule, how has the 4 captains been able to keep everybody focused and doing the things they need to be doing?
I will tell you this, we've had a lot of individuals step up in this training camp and provide valuable leadership, and that's been great to see. And we've challenged some individuals. Just because you don't have the term captain doesn't mean you're not a leader. And so we've really challenged our players, and we've had some individuals step up. But it's like I told those 4 captains too, there is a reason why we had them address Neyland Stadium in the spring game, address our great fan base, and also address our football team. There's a standard and there's an expectation of being named captain here. And you have to earn the right to be called captain each and every day in our football program. It's not a fancy term. It's not a popularity contest. Leadership is lonely, and it's teaching those individuals about leadership. But we've also challenged other players in our program to provide that leadership and stability that we need. And I've seen it. I've seen it really start to really happen over the last few days. It's happened throughout the course of training camp, but I see more and more of that materializing as camp has gone on.
Thank you, guys. Coach.